Okay, hello again. Krill here. About to play turn 80, God knows, 82, I think, of PB15. Another two-turn day. Aha. God almighty, I am painted the nose for those cities. Wait. Yeah, painted the nose for these cities. Okay, spear's moved. That's going to die this turn, one way or another. Moved a spear out of Miller. Novice has. Thoth. I'm unsure if Thoth's actually played this. I don't think Thoth has played since I last played. I've got to check Civ stats to make sure. Actually, yes, Thoth has played. He does know that this city's settled, and he can make a plan. Or what? It's up to him. And there's nothing from. Yeah, there's nothing else. Anything in the log? Enemy has been seen near City 7. God, I still need to come up with some names. I've not had much time to think today. But first things first, I can attack at 99.3% without winning, without promoting. Hopefully I do win at those. I'm just going to take it. Because, frankly, if I lose this battle, I would probably have, I don't think having a shock would have mattered much. I still only got one experience point for it, and look at that, 1.5 health. It's a bit depressing. Okay, let me just do this quickly before I forget. Is this game lagging? Game's lagging slightly, it seems. I actually can't work the hill this turn. I should have checked to see the happiness would wear off. I'm still going to get a 5-turn worker, that's not a problem. As you can see, do the granary this turn. Then I'll work the sugar for 2 turns to grow. I need 16 food to grow, 2 turns of making 6 food, 1 turn of making 4, that's absolutely fine. I'll make another spear, because I only have so many, only have 3. And now the most important one is to see how much this city costs, because I'm expecting, just a gamble, I'm actually expecting that. Just to look at F2. Unit supply should go immediately, so I should save 2 gold on that. Unit cost, I think, if I'm lucky, that'll change by 1. 2 is probably unheard of. City Maidens and Civic Upkeep's what's going to really kill me, but I reckon I'll go to minus 50. And it's even worse than that, minus 52. Oh, and an axe. That's nice. So yeah, I'm actually going to have difficulty. Oh, and I even fucked up, I didn't road. I actually fucked up really big there. I should have roaded. I even said before I should do it. I even labelled it and I didn't. That's what you get for being on the go for 13 hours without a break. Doesn't matter, it's one commerce. Yeah. What do I do now? Because now the costs are 52. That's insanely high. Those 3 cities have basically dropped my. Seem to have done a lot to the gold generation. So now I'm at plus 16. So I've basically tanked my entire economy. To get that break even is now 15 gold per turn. It used to be significantly higher. So I might have actually researched just a little bit, just settled those cities a little bit too fast, because I wasn't in a rush to get them. So arguably, I've made a mistake here by settling them when I have, but whatever. One of the things I could do is, I should note that I can build a fort with mathematics. So if I wanted to, I could actually build a workboat in Sebarig, put a fort on this hill, and use it to hook up the whale or fish. So I could actually do that. So, because what else am I going to build in Sebarig again? Really, what do I need? I can build a barracks. I don't need the culture. I don't have the hammers to build units. I'm going to be running scientists here. It's like there's nothing else to build. I build a unit, a military unit. It doesn't get a promotion. So I'm actually going to build a workboat. I'm going to take that fort, even though it's not the most efficient worker turn wise, but I think it's useful. I'd rather trade the worker turns for using 30 less hammers than City 7. I wonder what I think I can use that barb axe to get the 3 experience points I need on that chariot. So I need to work that out right now before I do something stupid. Axe moves up. I'll just check F2. As you see, unit supply has actually gone down to zeros, but unit cost hasn't changed at all. So now I'm actually running a combat calculator on just to figure out the amount of experience I'll get against that axe. Now, I can't promote that chariot to shock and attack the axe on a forest and still get 3 experience points. Doesn't work. But if I promote it to... No, I actually can't even promote it. I have to attack it as is with the... yeah, I have to attack it as is and take it. So basically I haven't got great odds there, but I might have to take it with that unit. So I don't have to do it right now, but what I can do is to reposition this turn onto the... oh god, I don't want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna move it to here, so it's inside my borders, because I could put it on the plain style, but on the hills that'll do as well, because it can still attack any of the forests, including the forest right down here south of City 8. So that's what I can do with that. Move that archer back into this the warrior. God knows what I'm doing with that. It's just wandering around. I'm going to put it on the hill as well. So I'm gonna move the chariot onto the there. move that chariot here. Not even, yeah. I was originally looking at chopping these forests, but obviously now because that axe is there, I can't do that. So I've kinda screwed up. I have screwed up the worker micromanagement with not roading this tile first. I should have done that. That's obvious, just me screwing about. But I can no longer irrigate that corn with 3 workers. I can only do it with 2. I've got to do it. Irrigate with both of those. That's still the right. That's still the right move there. I'll cancel as well, but this worker. Yeah. As you can tell, as I've said before, I was looking to settle in these cities, but that's obviously not going to happen now. Not for a while. I'm going to mine the grass hill because it means I can still get that corn done 1 turn sooner. I can then either move, depending on what this axe does next turn, hopefully. I actually screwed up. I should have moved that one here as well. Yeah, I've actually screwed up. I'm going to move that chariot back here. I don't need it on that desert hill. It doesn't matter. I'm going to move it here so that I've got 2 chariots. So that axe should almost certainly be dead. Next turn, so I can move the worker slightly, or 1 worker slightly differently. To either pasture the sheep or chop. I actually want it to chop, but we'll wait and see if that works. The axe are moving up to around, so it's between 3 cities. The spear, I'm moving over to between Aram Collusion and Sebaran again. The next spear I build, I'm going to move down to between. I'm going to replace that spear that I've just built, and that spear will move down to between Sebaran again and City 8. The archer is going to fog bust outside my borders, so has to wander around. That fortifies there. I don't think it matters where I move this warrior. If I move next to a barb, it's dead. So I'll move it south just so it's less likely to be adjacent to a barb. Yeah, that's fine. As you can see, that granary's done. I then go on to the library. That hill's going to be basically ignored for a while. I'm going to road for a turn and cancel that. I could do anything on that tile, but the road seems the most important, considering that I might need to get milchines in and out of that city. And I want the granary in City 8, that's an obvious one. I need to cancel that worker before I forget. That's most of the turn done. As you can see, I grossly underestimated the cost of these 3 cities. They're all connected. They've all got trade routes. It's just the increasing costs, because each city increases the number of city costs by 1/4 of a gold, but in every single city. So that's going to rise pretty quickly. But interestingly enough, you could argue that the the change to aggressive that lowers the city maintenance is actually quite useful in being this and just trying to expand so hard all over the map. But it's looking like I actually need to work a fair few more cottages. If Novice is going to slave a library, he's going to do it shortly. That'll force my hand, and I will have to slave a library in ARAM collusion. I'm actually considering not doing that and just working cottages and whatnot because I need the commerce. Obviously, Sabaron again is going to add to the not culture, the beaker, like per turn beaker output just by working 2 scientists. But really, the rest of this is about growing onto commerce-producing tiles, the fish, the whale, sheep, keeping that oasis work, getting the gold hooked up, incense. Actually, I will have to do that sugar even now just for that extra commerce on that tile. That sugar improved for that commerce. The dyes. That's yeah, that's something I'm going to have to do then. But just to look at the gold, now I've got enough gold for 2 turns of 100%. That'll make 75, but 75 gets adjusted. So it's actually 76 times 1.2 is 91 times 2. 182 beakers. So add that to the 222 I've already produced, that's 404 beakers I'll have. So I'll be down 118 beakers from finishing calendar. So as an argument actually that I should hold off now, because I'm going to have to drop the slider before I finish calendar, there's a good argument for me to actually save gold for a turn. Because Sabaron, or actually no, because Sabaron again's already got the library, so it makes no difference. I should have saved gold for previously. And if ARAM collusion were going to finish the library, which I'm not sure about at the moment. So yeah, I should just carry on researching. Yeah. I don't have enough gold at the moment. I grossly underestimated the cost of the cities, so that's gonna be a bit painful. As I said, break even's not that nice at the moment. What is it? 20%. 52, 52, so I could probably get 1 turn off of yeah, about 1 turn of 60% is 45. But with the scientist being worked, that's 62 beakers. So I'm actually not that. Rather than getting calendar now in 4 turns, I'm actually looking more like getting it in 6. So I should have held off in settling these cities just a little bit because I wasn't in a rush. So that was bad prioritization by me on settling these cities. Does mean that I'm definitely not going to be able to settle these cities near Thoth. But then again, look at we've already seen Thoth crush his economy, so bloody hell, Commodore, what have you done to your GNP? Yeah, Commodore is researching again. There's no way in hell that is pure beakers. I will be totally honest. If someone doesn't attack Commodore very shortly, he's back in this game. Because the only area where he's not like run of the mill is in his power, where he's like, honestly, that's just laughable. He does not have any military units. Or if I grouped all my chariots and ran them through his territory, if he didn't get his spear in the right position, he'd lose cities. And I say spear because he only has. There's no way in hell he's got more than 1. Novice researching. Yeah. Thought I saved enough gold. Obviously not. That's pretty much the story of this turn. Screwed up not balancing horizontal expansion and research. But you can't have everything. Yeah, I'll just go through the cities quickly. Got the reset. That unhappiness will wear off this turn. And I'll swap over from working the farm to working to. Why is it minus what producing one food and still starving? That's got to be a bug. No, it's not a bug. It's the way they implemented it, I think. It's the way it's implemented. I'd still argue actually that's a bug. And producing food shouldn't have to eat. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. Granary. Swap from swap onto the sugar for 2 turns after this, and grow. I've got to grow this city now. With that, I've got to grow it. I think to size 5. I won't grow it any higher than that. I'm only going to grow it to size 5, but then I'll build a worker because I need a worker to. It's not going to take 3 turns. I wish to hook that sugar. I might. I'm going to see how I can do it with. I think what I'm going to do with Commodore is I'm actually going to cover it with that chariot and leave it at that and not do anything. I think he might take that as a peaceful sign, the fact that I put a chariot next to his pasture, but I've not done anything, and I'm only improving that sugar. I think he'll be okay with that. That needs to grow. Growing this city obviously in 3 turns, and then it's gonna stop. And I'm not gonna build settlers. Weirdly enough, it's gonna be a size. It's gonna be really funny. I'm gonna have a size 7 city capable of producing what 21 hammers per turn. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have not too many workers. I'm gonna have enough workers. I won't have to build many. I could arguably build one, and that'd be enough. I don't need to build scout, or axe, or spear, or archer, or chariot. I've got enough units. I'm fine. I'm still number 1 in power by a significant margin. It's like unless I'm going to use, you could argue I've overbuilt on the units, but really I'm not that. It's like, but when you see that actually the ones in each area are being useful, they are built for a purpose. So it's like I've just used the axe. I mean, I've potentially got a few too many chariots, but like I've got 2 chariots, 2 archers, and a warrior to defend 2 cities that are quite far apart. I need a spear because Thoth could always come out of the fog with 5 immortals. It's like I need 1 spear, and there's only another warrior in there. It's not exactly overbuilt. An archer. It's like I'm not really overbuilt on units. I've just got a really big empire that I've got to defend. So I need that many units. So I'm definitely not overbuilt. But it's like, what else do I use this city for? Because I can't afford any more settlers. Don't need the workers. Don't need the military. It's like I actually should try and build a wonder or 2, but I don't even have masonry to go for hanging gardens. I could try and build Mausoleum of Mausoleus. It's not a bad choice. It'd take me about 22 turns to build that. And at worst, it's fail gold. At best, I've got a wonder that's worth about 2 golden ages throughout the game. So I might have to do that. The other option is to build a library. Stop working some of these tiles, the 2 hills that I can give back to A rank illusion. work 2 scientists. I've got the happiness um, to still be productive. I mean, the pig tile and the sugar mean that I can work those 2 tiles, 2 scientists, still generate enough food for what? For another 4 hills. I mean, yes, I need 8 pop to do that, and I've only got 7. But with the additional happiness from calendar resources, that's perfectly viable. I might actually do that, even though I don't really want to turn that city into a research city. I'm actually quite likely to do that. I think that's the better option, because I've already said that I want to produce quite a few great scientists and then just settle them all in one city, because I think that'll be enough just to give me a solid constant research rate, because I don't think this is going to be a fast researching game, very much not. So just having like 3 or 4 great scientists settled in a city. I mean, 4 settled great scientists without any other bonuses. It's 24 base speakers a turn. Going through an academy, going through a library, that's an additional 18 from bonuses. And you're looking at like, what is it, 42 per turn, base speakers? I mean, for me now, that's immense if you were to consider that. Over the coming turns, though, because you get that every turn regardless of the slider, I think that's going to be really important, because it would just to have that base enable me just to spam out even more cities, and I'd say, like, well, screw it. Yes, my slider might be really low, but I'm making all of these beakers per turn. So there's a good chance I actually do build that library in Rajadonga. ARAM Collusion doesn't really have the food to work the hills and 2 scientists unless I take the sheep, but that's perfectly reasonable because I won't need the sheep in Saybaron again. So with the sheep and the pig, it would basically be in the same position as Rajadonga, that it could work the sheep, the pig, 2 scientists, size 4, and it would still have enough food to work the incense. That's really important, and then 3 hills or 2 hills and one of those cottages. It's like, so if I were to cottage the extra grassland to make use of the additional happiness, actually getting that library is not so bad. And I'll just be teching off the scientists, basically. I won't have many cottages. Those beakers would basically just be enough to get me to some of the critical techs, like, I don't know, metal casting for workshops. Forges would be nice, but not that important, even if it's worth 2 happy in each city. Take me to Coda Law so I can run cast system, which would give me the ability to pop borders very simply, or run merchants to increase the slider, run even more scientists, to get me to currency for free 1 commerce per city from a trade route. That's the scientists are probably the best way to go in this game. Say Baron again. Just going to go for the next 2 turns and work the scientists. I might just I might not grow it to size 5, just grow it straight to size 4. Definitely work the rice, work a library, get that die hooked up and grow. That is critical. I won't keep that. I don't think I'll have that horse for a few turns. I think, though, I might be able to take it over. Yeah, oh, actually, no. If Thoth has not got a granary, he's not got a library yet, but he might do. If he gets a library, he's got that horse down. I can't do anything. It's going to be hard to hold. It's going to be hard if he really pushes culture in both these cities to hold this city, but I should be able to do it. Yeah. City 7, the micromanagement obviously has changed because I can't chop the forest this turn, which is what I was aiming to do. But next turn I can irrigate that corn, and I'll have 6 food saved. I'll work the corn for 3 turns on turns 83, 4 and 5 to go to size 2. By that point I want to actually stop working the corn. I'll work either the whale and 1 mined hill or 2 mined hills to get the granary to 30 hammers. Then I'll whip it for 1 pop, and then I'll regrow using the corn, and just grow it back to size 2, and then whip the barracks back down to size 1. Then I'll just grow all the way through the pop sizes to size 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever I've got, and work all the hills. Oh, why'd I hit escape? Idiot. City 8, the aim was to steal the corn back for a few turns to bootstrap growth. I wanted to chop the 2 forests immediately so that I would actually take the corn over just in time to grow, but also save as much food as possible in the granary. That's obviously not going to happen now. I think if I finish it next turn, I'll have 3, 6. So if I kill that axe and I finish that corn next turn, I can move both workers on. Well, one worker will be on 84, so it can chop on 85, 6, and 7. So I'll finish the granary into 10, 87. So I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. So I've had 6 turns filling the food box before I even do that. So I'll only need 4 food to grow. So the most I can really save is use the oasis for 1 turn to save 3. So I'm at 21, and then use the corn for another turn to save 6. But as I've already said, I didn't want to use the corn all the time in City 7. I wanted to give it up on turn 80, what was it? On 86, so it's kind of screwed up slightly. I don't have to finish the corn next turn though. I can, instead of using all 3 workers to farm, I can move 1 worker onto a forest and move the other worker onto a forest, the one that roaded the desert hill, in which case I would get the granary finished, move on 83, 4, 5, chopped on 86, so I'd only have 15 food saved. It's not... Micromanagement isn't as pretty as it could have been, but it's still functional. There's still ways to make it efficient. But yeah, the aim is to grow City 8 to size 2 quickly with the food box, and then to slave the barracks so I can pop the borders so I can get the gold, and then just regrow as quickly as possible before I give the corn back, because basically I'm splitting the corn between 2 different cities. Once the borders popped in City 7 to get the fish, basically I don't, strictly speaking, need the corn in either city. I only need it in City 7 like once it's working every single hill tile possible, like, because with the fish and with the whale I'm making 7 food per turn, so 1, 2, 3 there. I mean, I can work 2 plains hills and the 3 grass hills, and that's size 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actually. 7 doesn't even need the corn until it grows to size 8, 9, 10. It's like, so strictly speaking, the corn wasn't entirely necessary. And there's a fair few other things I could do. If I had good workshops, I could always workshop the grasslands. There's 3 grasslands that I could workshop to turn them to the equivalent of grass hills, using just the workshops with cast system. So I could work them as well, so I didn't need the corn. Corn's good. Obviously, if I wanted to turn this city into like a great hammer city to make 25 hammers, 30 hammers per turn, but with Donga, I don't need to do that. I'd be more likely just to build build a library and work scientists. And City 8 can use... doesn't really need the corn per se, it just needs it to grow, because it needs to work... I want to work the gold as long as possible. And with a plains cow, oasis and sheep, I'm still only making 4 food per turn, so it's not growing particularly fast. And I want to grow the city to work some of the grassland tiles, well, or some of the coasts rather, so I might need them for a few turns. I don't want to leave City 8 at like size 4, just working the resource tiles. I do want it to grow a little bit, because I do want to get... I probably need to slave I need to have the population in the city that I can slave it if I need to. The fact that it might not be the most productive population working, I don't know, Plains Hill Mine, but just having the population there to slave immediately if I need it is actually a very good defensive bonus. That's something that's not considered in the productivity of population, the fact that it is just a hammer store, and sometimes having that hammer store there to draw on immediately if you need it is can win you a game, or not having it can lose you it. So yeah. Um, so that's pretty much all the city micromanagement. I'll just go through again and take the pictures. So this is the turn. Oh, where I almost take calendar really. Thank you, Jack Sparrow. But it's this is an interesting turn to play. I think. Yeah, that score, that soldier points is just yeah, that soldier point is what's really going to be a pain for other people to deal with. Most people will be wondering what I'm doing, I think. Anyway, that's the turn. I'll see you guys later. Probably tomorrow afternoon. So have a good evening.